And they are here to give you the smart ways of farming so that you can have the bumper harvest, as is the theme for the 27th edition of Seeds of Gold. Now, this clinic was launched by Nation Media Group and its partners at the head office in Namwongo at the start of this month. The farm clinics provide participants with information through practical training to equip farmers with necessary knowledge and also support to run profitable agribusinesses and different ventures within their respective regions. Now, we are having partners that are joining us this morning to discuss exactly how the Seeds of Gold is actually going to be a tool for them to reach out to their clientele, but also add value, given the fact that the president is continuously echoing that agriculture is the way forward for this country and industrialization of agriculture thereof. One of the indicators of that is the PDM, which is supposed to be moving this country and those people that are possibly below the poverty line from pocket reliance into financial reliance, and that should move the economy forward with the economy recovery. Now, joining me for these conversations, on my extreme left, I do have Emmanuel, who's coming in from Stanbic Bank, and he is the agribusiness manager with Stanbic Bank. Good morning to you, Emmanuel.
Morning, Priscilla.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Are you engaged in agriculture yourself independently?
Yes, please.
What would that be?
It's called integrated mixed farming. Quite a number of enterprises, each feeding into the other.
And particularly, which ones are these?
Poultry, piggery, for the Muslims, I apologize, and then grain production, plus a number of other cash crops.
Okay,
yeah,
very interesting. Alex is also joining us for the very same conversation. He's representing Bank of Uganda, and he's the Deputy Director in charge of Agriculture Credit Facility. Good morning to you, Alex.
Yeah, good morning, Priscilla.
And how are your farms doing?
Oh, the farms are doing well. I have a farm and I'm dealing in crop agronomy.
What do you have on your farm?
Yeah, I do farming. I grow maize, I grow soybeans, I grow rice. Yes.
Okay.
And on the other side, I also do some tree planting.
All right.
You know, the climate change. So we listen to that call. So we are also doing afforestation such that maybe we can restore our climate.
All right. And I believe that in your different capacities, you've listened to the call of the president to move this country agro forward. Now, I'll start with you, Emmanuel, and the Stanbic Bank. What are those strategic plans that the bank has to actually aid in this strategic direction of the country?
Thank you so much, Priscilla. I think as Stanbic, we are a leading financial institution, and at the core of the strategy that we have is to drive the growth of this economy. So for those of you that have followed us a lot, you've heard us say that quite a bit. In order to do that, we focus on what most people call primary growth sectors of the economy. And in my opinion, agriculture is top of that list, if I may use that word. When you look at the percentage of the population that it employs, when you look at the contribution it has towards foreign exchange earnings, when you look at the percentage contribution to GDP, but even more critically, when you look at the multiplier effect it has on other sectors, whether it's manufacturing, as a provider of raw materials and inputs, or even the services sector. I mean, just to put it simply, it doesn't matter in which sector you are, you have to eat 2-3 times a day. So it's a sector of focus for us because of that. And what we are trying to do, I think it's quite a number of measures, but primarily it is to see that we advance solutions as much as possible to the sector. One of the things that we've done is to move away from the traditional banking products. So many times when you walk into a bank or when you ask a banker, what are you doing? We roll off a number of products from accounts to loans. So it's usually accounts and loans. That's the traditional banking. But one of the things that we've done quite a bit as Stanbic Bank over the last 2 or 3 years has been to design a number of solutions, not even products now, but we come up with solutions that target the unique needs of the players, particularly the agriculture sector. So we've come up with propositions like products that are tailored just to savings and cooperative and credit cooperatives, farmer organizations, and the reason why we did that partly is actually in line with farm clinics. What the farm clinics have helped us to do is to get that feedback. Again, core to our strategy as a bank is to place the customer at the center. So the reason we've been able to come up with all these solutions is because we've listened to our customer. In the past, we would design a product and roll it out to the market. So you come up with an overdraft, you come up with a term loan. But as we have had these engagements with our customers, we get feedback, and they say that doesn't work for us. That is for the big players. We are smallholder farmers. We don't have collateral. So as a result of all that, we've come up with solutions that are tailored to the unique needs of our farmers. And increasingly, we are by the focusing on the smallholder farmer. I think historically we had created the impression that we were more of the large and corporate, we were targeting the large and corporate players. Right now we are doing a lot of strategic focus on the smallholder farmer with our savings.
Be more specific. Someone is asking themselves, what does a smallholder farmer look like for you?
Look like what do we take to be a smallholder farmer? Allow me to rephrase and answer it from that. So 3 things we look at. One is land holding, and that is usually for the commercial or plantation crops. If your land holding is below about 5 acres, you would be smallholder. The other one is how much do you earn from what you do. So in the context of banking, now smallholder would be anything below 50 million. If what you do is 50 million and below, then you would be smallholder. Why it is important to actually look at it from that angle is the traditional banking products would be very expensive for a person like that. So the solutions that we've come up with are focused on aggregation, so you come together. If you are 100 people, each earning 50 million shillings, it becomes much easier for you to have one bank account because then you split the cost of that account amongst all of you. So it becomes a bit cheaper for you if we can aggregate you. The other thing that we do a lot is digital. So we are trying to upskill and build the capacity of many of our beneficiaries onto digital. Digital was actually a very good story for us, partly by design, but it was popularized during COVID. So one of the, I would say the good things that came out of COVID is it opened up to the capabilities of the digital platforms. So it's not just payments. Some of us were ordering food online, but even as banks and in the context of our clients, we actually realize that there's a number of solutions that we can deliver through digital channels at a much, much cheaper cost.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Now turning to you, Alex, we do have Bank of Uganda that has the agriculture credit facility. Tell us more about that, objectives and who it's targeting and how Ugandans are responding to it.
Yeah, thank you, Priscilla. And good morning to our dear viewers. Bank of Uganda, in addition to our cardinal role of ensuring price stability and a sound financial system, we have listened to the call of His Excellency the President and his government, where the government is in the fight of transiting the economy from subsistence economy to money economy. And how does Bank of Uganda come in? Now, Bank of Uganda comes in by packaging a product that will transform the economy. And Priscilla, don't forget about the composition of this population. Composition of this population in Uganda, most of the population is engaged in agriculture. So if you are trying to say that you want to transition this economy, then you don't forget focusing on agriculture. So what we are doing, there is what we call the Agricultural Credit Fund, or a credit facility, a facility that is put in place to ensure that it provides affordable credit to the population, such that all the smallholders, like my brother said, who are involved in agriculture, can adequately access the funding and be in position to increase on their productivity. And that's what we are currently doing. If it is not lost on you, you remember that some time back, commercial banks were shying away, were very naive in giving credit to the agricultural sector because of the disadvantages and the risks that were associated with agriculture. But ever since the agricultural insurance came into place, and ever since the government came into force to bring about this pool of funds where a farmer can go and borrow and be in position to increase the productivity, even the commercial banks have now come. We are together. We are doing this as a partner, you know, because they contribute 50% and we also contribute 50% as government to lend the money to the farmer. And I can assure you, this system started in 2009 with only 20 billion. But Priscilla, as we talk now, the portfolio has grown up to 669 billion. So we are sure that really our farmers, and the objective of commercializing agriculture and ensuring that the productivity in agriculture sector increases is being achieved. And we don't stay, or we don't remain only that. It is not lost on us that we were badly hit by COVID-19 in 2020, and the economy had to shrink a bit. And now the government, in its wisdom, also came in a fund, with a fund called the Small Business Recovery Fund. At that time when we had COVID, the interest and the focus was on saving life. Saving life. Now, having saved life, the government said, yes, we saved life. What about the businesses? How were they performing? Are they still okay? We realized that actually the businesses, some of them died and some of them are still staggering. So that's when the government said, let's come up with a fund that can also revive these businesses that are still struggling, such that they can come back on their feet and do a contribution to the economy of this country. So all these funds, the Agricultural Credit Facility and the Small Business Recovery Fund, are the funds that are provided by government and managed by Bangkok of Uganda. And now what we are doing is to come up with a strategy. I can assure you we have come up with a 5-year marketing strategy to ensure that even that farmer, my father, my mother, who is a peasant down there, gets to understand about the availability of these affordable credits under the Bank of Uganda. So the marketing strategy is on, and that is the reasons why we partner with Seeds of Gold.
So why did you choose to partner with Seeds of Gold? Oh,
that's correct. Seeds of Gold is a very good, let me say, organization. I can call it an organization because it has given us a platform to interact with the farmers. Whenever you people hold the Seeds of Gold, we are called upon to come and have a conversation with the farmers and to tell them that actually there is money which is affordable and which is in line. Because look here, borrowing money at only 12%, this is something that can entice somebody really to go into agriculture, and you are given 8 years to pay the loan. So these are some things that farmers would like to hear, and therefore we partner with Seeds of Gold because they give us a platform to interact with the farmers, and their wider platforms like, for example, the media, print media, broadcasting, NTV, Sparker TV. There is a wide coverage. So that's why we decided to say, let's go in for Seeds of Gold, because its mother institution is the Nation Media. So it has given us that platform, and we really thank you, Seeds of Gold, for partnering with us.
All right, Emmanuel, how does Seeds of Gold align with the strategies of Stanbic Bank?
Yeah, thank you, Priscilla. So I think one thing that we need to appreciate, which we've done quite a bit as Stanbic Bank, is there are inherent needs and unique needs for the agriculture sector. The players that are in this sector, like Mr. Rwanja was saying, when you look at the way it is structured, I think close to 90% of the players or the production in this sector comes from smallholder farmers. Those smallholder farmers have requirements that cannot be addressed by just one product or one intervention. It requires multi-interventions. What we do a lot as Stanbic Bank is two things. One, partnerships. So we partner a lot. That's why you see Bank of Uganda has been one of our key partners. Nation Media Group has been one of our key partners. Why we focus a lot on partners is because everyone can bring on board their unique interventions, and we come together. And working together, you can then be able to help the smallholder farmer. If you come with just your product, chances are high it's not going to be effective, because then there are many other needs that will not have been addressed. So partnerships are crucial for us, but two, like I said, listening to the client. As a bank, we strive a lot to listen to our clients, and Seeds of Gold or farm clinics in particular give us just that platform. One, we come together as partners. So you'll find Narrow coming into the farm clinics, Bank of Uganda comes into the farm clinics, the media company comes into the farm clinics. So we all bring our solutions, and then the farmers come. I mean, just like you said when we were starting, this is going to be, I think the cover is going to be the 27th. So that's quite a milestone.
That's true.
Thanks Media Group, Nation Media Group for that. I have a feeling the farmers are coming because it's working for them. And we are also here because it's working for us. So it is evidently working, but it helps us a lot as the farmers come and listen to us. Then we will tell them, like Mr. Rwanja is saying, we have these concessionary loans, we have these solutions, we've designed for your SACCO product. We also listen to the farmers, because they will tell you that's not going to work for us. Maybe you need to do this. And for us, that's why we love farm clinics. That's why we love Seeds of Gold. It creates that platform.
Emmanuel, what are some of those particular adjustments you've had to make to your agricultural loan offers that you give to the farmers with this continued engagement with Seeds of Gold?
Okay, so allow me just share with you what I hinted on when I started earlier. The proposition that we have for the savings and credit cooperatives, that's something that we designed purely coming out of the engagements and the feedback that we got from our customers, because they very quickly came to us and said, your loans are expensive, first of all. You have a very long list of requirements. You know, there's even a joke that goes around, and they say, when you go to a bank, they will ask you for 3 pages of requirements. They will ask you for your grandmother's national ID. Even when you say she's dead, they will ask for a photo of the grave. So it's feedback like that made us take a back seat and say, maybe we're not speaking to our smallholder farmers. Maybe there's something that we can do. So the SACCO product that we came up with, in my view, it's quite revolutionary, because it's not just loans. Even the loans that we give are what we call collateral light. We don't ask for a lot of things. Just you need to show us that you've been in operation for 2 years, get us a recommendation from your district commercial officer, and probably, if you're doing own lending, a list of your members. There are very few things we ask you for. But in addition to that, we lend to you at concessionary pricing. So feedback came in and they said your loans are expensive. So we again, partnerships. We worked around with partners, Bank of Uganda, USAID, Danida, government. They came on board and said we can subsidize the loans we give our SACCOs, because these are smallholder farmers. So we are able to lend to them at very cheap rates. We, in addition to that, expanded the offering, and that's why I call it a proposition. It's not a product. We don't just give you a loan. We do capacity building. So when you come and take a loan from Stanbic as a SACCO, we train you. So there is financial literacy embedded in that, which again is one of the things that we've kept hearing from our farmers, because they say, we don't understand your products, you speak a lot of English, we fear to come to your banks. So we say, listen, we will come, we will find you where you are, and we will train you. So there's financial literacy embedded. There is a digital aspect. You will not believe, you can't believe it because we are doing it. We actually give laptops to our SACCOs. So when you borrow, we actually give you a laptop. We install software for you that you can use to monitor. So we are digitizing the SACCOs that we lend to. There's quite a bit we are doing.
So Emmanuel, you moved from 3 pages of requirements to how many pages of requirements right now? So what are those requirements for agriculture-based loans? Yeah,
so if you're a SACCO, it's important for me to just tell you this. What we've done now is we've tiered the requirements. In the past, we had one uniform list. So if Priscilla came in, it didn't matter whether you want 4 billion or 4 million. we would give you the same. We would say bring audited financials, bring cash flow projections, bring a business plan, bring... For someone who wants 4 million, that's probably too much. So what we've said is, listen, if you're looking to get anything below 20 million, then maybe audited financials are not that necessary. Just show us that you've been in operation, get a letter recommending you, and we will look at it.
Okay.
If you want between 20 and 50, maybe you can now add a bank statement. If you want above 200, then there we now start saying, okay, now bring audited financials. So we've tiered.
Let me see how Bank of Uganda is doing it, offering the agricultural credit facility. How many pages of requirements, and what are these specific requirements that a Ugandan should have in order to acquire this fund?
Yeah, thank you, Priscilla. Maybe before I go to that, I needed also to put this one categorically clear to our farmers that among the strategies that we have, is a window that we call block allocation. Because some time back when this facility started, some farmers shied away, said, you know, you see that money is not ours. The money is for the big people, the big farms and that kind of thing. And whenever you go there, they say we lend 50 million and above. But we say, no, look here. We are dealing with the population that is full of smallholder farmers. So the package that we have for them is what we call block allocation. Block allocation, you will be in position to borrow money from the bank without necessarily pledging the collateral that is always required by the commercial banks. Okay, registered titles. A smallholder farmer may not have a registered title. So we just say, please, just bring us a confirmation that the land you are own belongs to you. Like, for example, a land sale agreement, or even an LLC confirming that you're a resident and that land that you are staying on is actually yours, and you attach on the application form. You'll be in position to access the money up to a tune of 20 million without necessarily pledging the collateral. Back onto the requirements. What we need mostly is to tell us a story, what you are. Like, for example, start by opening up an account. Because the banker doesn't know you. By the time once you open the account, then the banker will begin knowing you. Open up an account and definitely tell us the story about your activities that you do. Tell us that I'm Alex Rwanja, I'm a farmer, I do this and that kind of, my production is like this, and I'm requesting for this much of money, such that I invest and then upscale my production. In addition to that, just give us a photocopy of your national ID, and then maybe give us your spousal consent, or the spousal consent of your madam. Because in most cases, gentlemen have borrowed the money without necessarily their spouses knowing, and they fail to pay. Then the banks go and disorganize the family. We want to sell the house, we want to sell the land. So now this we said no. To avoid that, let the spousal consent be there. Let your partner give you a go-ahead. Even if you are a gentleman or maybe a lady, your husband has also to give you that consent that please go and borrow money and then bring, and then we do some kind of activities. Then in addition to that, we need the, your bank statement if you have been in the bank. But if you haven't been there, no problem. Because what we want to see, how are you faring? But there are farmers who are coming for the first time. They didn't have any banking history. We also accommodate them. So for us, the list of requirements is basically, maybe we shall need only 3 items or 4. Then it is not scaring. Okay,
all right. Alex, what should farmers in Kabul expect from Bank of Uganda?
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Priscilla. Farmers in Kabul should expect around 3 things. One, they are going to interact with the agricultural officials who are experts in that field. So they will learn better methods of farming. They will get to know the good improved varieties put on the market. Now from Bank of Uganda, they need to expect a conversation with them, that we are going to tell them that please farmers, we have your money. Come for the money that can be lent to you at concessional terms, only 12% for 80 years. Processing fee 0.05%. For example, if a farmer came and said, I'm just beginning, I want 1 million. You give him 1 million and he pays the interest rate of 120. A full full year. So they need to come knowing that they are going to meet people who have got their financial medicine for the problems that they have, such that they can improve on their productivity. We have the money belongs to the farmers. Please, farmers in Kabale and around Kabale, come and visit the Bank of Uganda store. Let's have a conversation and see how best we can help you to improve on production.
All right, Emmanuel, with all the adjustments that you have made to favor the farmer in Kabale is waiting to see what you have to offer with this Seeds of Gold edition. So what do you bring to the table?
It's, I should say, listening ear. I want to start with that. Like I said, we've come to the point where we are by listening to our clients. So to our dear farmers in Kabale, I would say, please come and talk to us. Come and tell us what's working. Come and tell us what's not working. Come and tell us what more we can do. But also come and listen to us. The propositions that we have are relatively new. We are rolling them out. In some regions, actually, we're just launching, I think, barely 6 months back. So we want to get that feedback from our dear farmers. As we speak to the farmers, we also want to hear from them.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Emmanuel and Alex. Stanbic Bank and Bank of Uganda are partnering with NMG to bring you Seeds of Gold in Kabale. It's the 27th edition, and as both allude, it's a trusted clinic that actually has aided farmers in different parts of Uganda to improve their productivity and therefore also improve on how much they are earning out of the toil of their sweat, but more so how it actually gets to impact positively on the economy. And they're both committing that they're going to give a listening ear, but more so have tailored products that are speaking to the farmer post-COVID-19 economic recovery, and they're ready to actually adjust here and there to be able to accommodate each one of you, especially in the areas of Kabale, to be able to enjoy your farming, thrive in it, not suffer in it. Even with the crisis, that is their commitment. So Seeds of Gold, watch out for that. They're giving you smart ways of farming so that you can have bumper harvests.